Welcome to Seaford Oval, where the sunshine of the second half of this morning's match between the Solomon Islands and Fiji has been replaced with yet more rain. Slate grey skies, mugginess in the air, feels like a storm might well be on the way. We're here to watch an unusual match. In fact, it's the Combank Young Matildas gold v the Combank Young Matildas green. Papua New Guinea, who was supposed to provide the opposition for the Young Matildas today, unable to field a side, and understandably so, given the conditions. Liam Belady has decided that she needs a match. And she's got one here today. She's called in some players from down the highway. She's called in some players from locally as well. We'll see them all at some stage. My name's Russ Gibbs. Joining me in commentary for this one is former Matilda herself and Canberra United legend, Ashley Sykes. Welcome, Ash.
Hey, Russ. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming along. Really looking forward to this. And it is unusual circumstances. It is difficult circumstances as well. But great opportunity for Liam Belady to see, well, what is her whole squad.
Yeah, for sure. It is a bit odd, like you said, having to revert to playing each other again. But I think this is sometimes the most competitive style games of football. You've got something to prove against each other and really get stuck in. So I think it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you who's going to win, because you'll just tell me the Young Matildas.
I might get that tip right.
Well, we're going to see who they are. Let's have a look at the two lineups, though. Young Matildas gold first, wearing, well, funny enough, gold. Grace Wilson starts in goal. Chloe Wallando, Maya Lobo, Christina Kicic and Tegan Bertolicio across the back four. Zara Kruger and Sienna Saveska, the holding midfield pair. Avani Prakash in front of them. Three up front, Jonty Fisher, Annika Stajic and Josie Allen. Strong lineup, that.
Very strong lineup, and they'll be looking to put into play some of the stuff that Lee's been working with them all week, you know, really looking to showcase their skills and put their best foot forward for the coach.
Let's have a look at the green team. Talia Franco in goal, back four of Zoe Karapides, Gemma Ferris, Meg Roden and Peter Trimmis. Shay Holman, the holding midfielder, two in front of her, slight tweak to the system that Gold are playing. Sarah Donoghue and Ava Breedis in there, and three up front include the locals, Sacha Grove left, Amelia Murray, who's skippered the side all week, on the right, Rosie Curtis leading the line.
Yeah, another talented squad, obviously. A couple of local girls in there, Sasha and Meg. So, you know, I'll be cheering them along. I don't think I want to be biased in this game, but I think I'm slightly, got to be honest, leaning towards green.
On the bench for the gold side, Sophia Christopherson from Canberra United, Anna Hunt, another Canberra United player in the past, Lillian Skelly and Nadia Zachman, a Canberra Academy player. On the green bench, Zara Board, the goalkeeper, Ella O'Grady, who scored earlier in the week in the 2-1 win over the Solomon Islands, Mia Golding, who they've got super high hopes for as well here from the Junior Matildas camp, and Adelaide Wizinski. And also Maya Cameron, who I commentated on in futsal last night.
Yeah. And
she played about half an hour of a 40-minute stop clock game, and she's out there on the bench again today. But having known Maya Cameron, what a player she is. She's give you Energizer Bunny-like activity as the thunder rolls in.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, plenty of energy in some of these girls, and, you know, playing 30 minutes last night hopefully won't do too much for them, but they'll be out there giving it their best shot if we
start. Beck Mackey's the referee, Lauren Hargrave and Anastasia Philokouridis are the replacements, the assistant referees. But that thunder rolling in, and of course they'll keep an eye on the lightning as well, and we will see how we go.
Yeah. Tell you what, Russ, it's great to see so many players getting an opportunity in this camp. You know, they've had a busy year or so for the Young Matildas, and it's great to see some more players get called up by Leah Blaney.
Yeah, plenty of quality out there. We've seen it during the week. They've had a couple of good wins. Solomon Islands 2-1. Avani Prakash and Ella O'Grady, as aforementioned, with the goals. A 3-0 win over Fiji the other day. Amelia Murray, Sienna Saveska and Josie Allen with the second half goals in that. And that was a great performance against the Fijian side that come off the back of a 2-0 win over Papua New Guinea. It will be the gold to get us underway. And we'll see how long we go. Let's hope this storm passes us by. The green attacking the goal to our left in the first half. An early run for Sarah O'Donoghue. Sasha Grove straight into the action as well. Pulls it back towards Holman. It'll be picked up by Annika Stajic. You would have played in games similar to this in your career as well, Ash. It's not just playing for positions, playing for camp and that. There's a little bit of pride on the line here, isn't there?
Definitely. It's always, sometimes it can end up being more competitive than some of the internationals you end up playing, you know, that there's nothing better than proving your mates, getting one over your mates sort of thing in these sorts of games, and if you can do it against other top competitors, you can do it against anyone.
You can probably hear that rain hammering down on the roof of the old stand here at Seaford Oval. luckily there's plenty of seats for everyone to stay dry. Not so for the players who are trying to put on a show. Meg Roden, playing at centre-back, plays most of her club football a lot further forward with Ash Sykes.
She does. She's played with me at Canberra Olympic this year as a 8 or a 10 normally, and she even had a bit of time up front. So she's certainly showing her versatility here, and you know what, I think her ball-playing skills will do her well at centre-back. It's such a valued skill in that position these days.
We can already see from what we've watched during the week that this is at a lot higher tempo than some of the matches we've seen involving the Pacific Island sides, and will be played at a breakneck pace. Prakash has been very impressive this week. There's Maya Lobo at the back. We're going to find a gap, but Silveska beaten to it. Comes for Jonty Fisher.
I think we can see the team sort of settling into their work now after the first frantic first few minutes.
Amelia Murray putting the pressure on Maya Lobo. Christina Kicic allowed to bring it forward. Coming in to pick out Silveska. And Amelia Murray wearing the captain's armband opened the scoring in the 3-0 win over Fiji. These players playing for a place in the squads for the Asian Cup qualifiers next March. There will be a couple of friendlies before that to finalise the squad for Leah Blaney. Then we'll play Iraq, Guam and the Kyrgyz Republic in those qualifiers. Incidentally, Leah Blaney is coaching the gold team on paper. Keelan Hamilton and Azaka Cernak are coaching the green sides. It's good pace from Josie Allen. Will be picked up by Roden though. She can send it towards Murray. Good challenge by Bertolicio. Fisher. Silveska. Prakash wide.
Right idea there to switch the play and try and find some space. Just haven't quite hit the target there.
Spoke to Leah Blaney before kickoff, and she did say she did give the team talk to both teams, which is interesting.
It's interesting. Is it the same or different, do you think?
She said it was slightly different.
Yeah.
But they've all been training together all week, so they know what the coach wants, obviously.
Yeah.
There's Rosie Curtis. Her ball finds Murray in a bit of space here. Happy to take on Bertolicio. Comes across with a challenge.
Yeah, I think she's getting a little bit too close to a defender there before trying to make the 1v1 action. So, you know, you can see she's looking for it. She just needs to give herself a bit more space, I think.
There's a bit more lightning around the grounds here. Roden under pressure. Calmly done. Gemma Ferris. One of the new players that came in. Peter Trimmis wearing number 8 and left back here for the green is one of the others. They were called last night, late, a few of these players, and they're all too willing to jump on a bus and get down here as well. And why wouldn't you be?
Definitely, yeah. You'd be jumping at any opportunity. One of those phone calls you dream about getting.
Murray getting the strike away, first effort on goal. Fairly routine for Grace Wilson. Gonna have to keep an eye out here. I've got a feeling we might be curtailed very shortly because of the lightning, and we are. And that's a real disappointment. Not a lot they can do though. The safety of everybody concerned is the most important. Ash Sykes, we did get through 5 minutes of football. It felt like it was coming, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It's been hanging around all day. This rain in the earlier match as well, and the thunderstorms were predicted. It's just a shame that it's happened just as we started getting into it. Just
as we were starting to enjoy it. Peter Trimmis had a couple of touches at fullback for the green, and the Gold had probably more of the play, but the one chance that's come at this end. We don't know how long this is going to be. Usually it's about 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so. I can't remember exactly what the timing is between the flash and when we can come back again. But this will be frustrating for the players as well. Not only have they had the Papua New Guinea match cancelled on them, and now this has happened.
Yep.
How do you cope with like this in a situation, Ash?
Tell you what, it's great practice for them, because this could happen in, their qualifying matches. These sorts of disruptions happen all the time. So it's good practice to, get your mindset right. But oftentimes, you just try to relax, I think, in the change rooms.
Yeah, they're trying to relax in the change room, seeing how they're going. Like I said, they've got these qualifiers coming up, Iraq, Guam, Kyrgyz Republic. The A group winners will progress to round 2 of that competition, which will be played from June the 3 to 11 next year. And only the 4 best sides from that will earn a spot in the finals in Uzbekistan in 2024. It's a fairly unforgiving process, isn't it?
It is, and Australia in recent years have really struggled to qualify for under-20s World Cups, and precisely for this reason, it is super competitive, super difficult to try and actually even make the tournament.
They got there to the under-20 World Cup finals in Costa Rica recently. Did get a win against the host nation, but then were beaten by Brazil and Spain. It's disappointing in that respect, but just to experience that tough group.
Yeah, really tough group, coming up against some top footballing nations in the world. But I tell you what, they put their best foot forward. That first game against Costa Rica, they were flying, and there were some cracking goals in it. And then they came up against Spain and Brazil, and I think got shown, I think Australia put their best foot forward, to be honest. They really impressed, not just me, but I think a lot of people with how well we performed. And, also got shown a little bit of the benchmark as to where the rest of the world is at. And I think there's lots of improvement left to go for the squad with continued investment from, the Federation. They've got a busy year coming up, so there's plenty of opportunities for all of these players to continue improving and then hopefully showcase their best efforts at the next qualifying round.
Moving up a level, the full Matildas squad. What a fantastic performance yesterday. 4-0 against Sweden, something that perhaps we didn't expect.
Yeah, it was a little bit unexpected considering our recent record, especially against European teams. But they were flying yesterday. The Matildas playing some great football, and to put 4 against a quality team like Sweden, they've got to be feeling pretty confident now. And I think, World Cup's how many months away now?
Well, 20th of July next year, so It's getting closer.
9 months-ish, 8 months. So nothing like a bit of confidence heading into a major tournament. If you build and peak at the right time, anything could happen. And on home soil, they've got all the motivation they need. Yeah,
it starts on the 20th of July to 20th of August next year. 5 venues in Australia: Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth and Sydney, the lucky venues. 4 in New Zealand: Auckland, Dunedin, Hamilton and Wellington for the Women's World Cup. And of course, Australia drawn in a group with Republic of Ireland, Nigeria and Canada in Group B. That's hard. It's not. I mean, there's no easy groups in a World Cup because it's a World Cup. But you look at the different styles of football there. European side and Republic of Ireland, who have improved immeasurably. Nigeria bringing the African flair, which they always do, and Canada traditionally very strong in the women's game. Yeah,
Canada reigning Olympic gold medalists, so not really the team you want to come up against in the group stage, but yeah, and Nigeria probably the best team in Africa. So we've got a tough group there, but I think we can get off to a good start against the Republic of Ireland. I think when I went to the World Cup in 2015, we played Nigeria in the group round as well. So they've got plenty of experience playing against Nigeria in particular, and had some luck against them last time. So hopefully they can do it again this time.
And how was that experience for you? Your World Cup was in Canada, wasn't it? And how was the whole experience building up for you in terms of the whole process of selection and the excitement that got you there?
It's nerve-wracking. I tell you what, things are a bit different now. The way the way the system works. We were all in camp for basically 9 months leading into that World Cup, and every weekend, you'd find out whether you made it through to the next sort of squad or the next touring party or those sorts of things. It's quite ruthless, but really enjoyable. There's nothing like playing full-time football to take some time to improve yourself. And the players will be going through that process now with Gustafsson in the lead up to the World Cup, and it's an exciting time for most of these girls' careers.
Australia's hosted many great sporting events down the year. We've been very lucky to have Olympic Games here and many other things. We see the Formula One circus roll into town once every year, and this grand final day in the AFL is massive as well. But I'm not sure the Australian public is quite prepared for what's about to hit them next year with this tournament.
Yeah, I keep telling everyone, I don't think you understand how big it's going to be, Anyone who watched the Euros recently in England will know how much fanfare there was around the women's game and how much it's grown in recent years. And, I mean, Australia always puts on a good show for major events, doesn't it? So I think the World Cup's going to be no different, and I think it's going to take the country by storm.
It's in our winter as well, though, which might be interesting for some of those clubs, countries that may be expecting it to be baking hot when they come over. It might be a bit of a surprise.
Maybe that's why Canberra didn't get any games, so it's too miserable.
Because it'll be snowing. Can you imagine that, chucking Jamaica here?
Yeah,
Be like Cool Runnings. Speaking of Jamaica, and this is a random segue, Papua New Guinea, who are in this tournament today, they've got an Interconfederations playoff match next February. They play Panama. Should they win that, they'll play Paraguay or Chinese Taipei in the decider. Should they win that, they'll come to the World Cup, and they will be in Jamaica's group, along with a couple of easy games against France and Brazil.
Wow, so some of the teams still have quite a way to go.
It's still got a bit of qualification to do.
Yeah, it's a hard road, isn't it, having to take that sort of alternate route to try and make a World Cup. You know, you see it in the men's as well, and the women's. It's it can be a tough qualification.
But for Papua New Guinea, I mean, should they manage to get past that really tricky pathway, Panama will be a really tough test. And again, the South Americans in Paraguay or Chinese Taipei, if they should get through. To get to a World Cup and end up in a group with France and Brazil would be a fantastic experience.
Oh, that whole experience would be fantastic. You know, they dare to dream to make that qualification, and being part of a massive tournament like that means a lot for these smaller countries who haven't had an opportunity to do so before. You know, that it would mean the whole country would get behind them. You can see, you know, I don't know if anyone listening to rugby league or rugby union fan, but in rugby union in the sevens, Fiji is probably one of the best teams in the world, and their fans are incredible, and they bring a special sort of flavour and entertainment to the crowds. And I think the Papua New Guinea team, should they make the World Cup, would be no exception.
And this is not to disparage other international tournaments that we have had in Australia, such as the Rugby World Cup and the Rugby League World Cup as well. But it's the sheer diversity of cultures and countries that can qualify and have qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup, which will be held here next year, which is the real draw card, isn't it? I mean, because when you look at the Union and the League, it's generally the same countries all the time, but in this competition, well, plenty.
It can be anyone from anywhere around the country. It is the world game for a reason, and it really makes the crowds, especially entertaining. I know my mum's, followed me around playing soccer for a long time, but I think she's got tickets already for the World Cup primarily so that she can go and be involved in the crowd with some of those smaller teams. I think that's what she gets more enjoyment out of than the actual football.
I'm hoping there'll be some fan fests going up as well and that kind of thing outside the ground for people that couldn't get tickets, because I understand the ticket sales have been immense, and they've gone on sale, particularly the groups matches involving the Matildas, sold out really quickly, unsurprisingly, and it is surprising to hear FIFA say that they thought the ticket sales were unexpected because they weren't ready for it. But I tell you what, it's going to be fantastic to have the World Cup here and having the Matildas flying on home soil. Like, it's going to be great. I jumped in early and got some tickets, thankfully, so I can get to be there and cheer them along. Well, having been brought up in the UK myself, there is a perception of Australia that it's not a football country. But when you're here, the amount of people that play the game, the highest participation rate of any sport in the country, the amount of people that go to matches, and when you put events on, I mean, look at the crowd last night against Sweden, fantastic, and they will get behind it, the Australian public, and they're not that parochial that they'll get behind their team, but they'll also pick another side and they'll get behind them as well. Yeah,
pick a second team to go along and cheer for sure. And like you said, you know, not only the Australian public will be coming, Australia, I think, as a destination for people to come to a World Cup is quite a good one. So there'll be plenty of international fans here coming, and you know, some of them might brave a dip in the beach wherever they're staying. But yeah, they might be expecting a bit more sun and whatever else for a winter tournament. But it's still a great destination to come and watch an international sort of competition.
In saying that, winter temperatures will be quite balmy for some of the Northern European people that will be coming along as well. What I am looking forward to, and I hope that the FIFA and the FA will jump on board with these kind of things, is I'm looking forward to a lot of young kids going to games and learning about other countries and other cultures and how it all encompasses in what you say in the global game. And this is a unique opportunity for us to do so. It doesn't come around, these kind of tournaments, very often. So if you're out there listening and you want to get involved, I think it's a great chance. Look, my young daughter, for example, is starting opening up the Men's World Cup trading cards and looking at them and those kind of things, and learning some of the crests and that. And we're hoping that's the same thing going to happen in the Women's World Cup.
It will for sure. Even past World Cups for us, we get the sticker book still and do that sort of thing. It is such a great experience for young kids, and you know, I was quite young when the Sydney 2000 Olympics were on, but that was still one of the best memories of my childhood, was getting to be there and see athletes from all over the world, supporters from all over the world, a truly sort of global event held here in Australia, and you know, football is certainly well placed to provide that sort of experience again.
Did you have your own sticker? Was there an Ashley Sykes Matildas sticker?
I don't think I was named in the squad until a little bit later, but yeah, we got those Panini books. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the Panini album.
Yeah.
There's not an Ashley Sykes sticker to go in there?
There might be, yeah. I don't know if I...
You've got them all over your wall.
It's a rare one, Russ.
It's a rare one. It's one of those ones people were really after, sought after sticker. Your sister didn't get one, though.
No, you gotta make it there. Sorry, Nick, but...
Bit harsh. She's here today. I've seen her around. Just on a slight different tangent to the international football which we're talking about. We'll try and get you an update from people, the organisers here, as to when we might be thinking about kick-off. We'll go off in a bit and come back. But what I want to quickly ask you is that how was it playing for your sister last year? She was the head coach of Camp Olympic here in Canberra. I mean, you did win the Federation Cup. You finished second in the league. You did win the grand final as well. And you scored plenty of goals yourself. But how was it playing for Nick? Did she give you much advice in the change room?
No, Nick's learnt over the years, being my captain as well at Canberra United, the best thing to do is, for the most part, leave me alone. So she was like that as a coach, and, you know, just chime in occasionally, tell me when to pull my head in or something like that. But no, she's good to play for. She finds a good balance between seriousness and fun. So, you know, it was good fun getting to run around with her as the coach. I enjoyed it, you know, almost as much as I enjoyed getting to play with her throughout my whole career. So it's good to be able to keep that going in some way.
And she's a cracking coach as well, isn't she? She gets a good respect of her players, and should she want to, I think there could be a future in the game for her in that respect.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. You know, she's really just getting started on her coaching journey, I guess, but she's got a good footballing head on her and a good sort of, she's very sensible and considered, so I think she lends herself well to coaching, and if she keeps pursuing it, then we might have another, you know, female coach ready for the higher ranks in football here.
Doing her mentor program with Canberra United this year, as are you.
Yes, it's very good. Season starts next weekend, doesn't it? So it's really heating up. It's exciting for Canberra United. A lot of new faces and some returning ones as well. So I'm excited to see what Goshi and the crew can put together. Yeah,
Liberty A-League Round 1 kicks off next weekend. Wherever you're listening around the country, if you haven't already got your membership for your local Liberty A-League club, go out and do so. You won't be disappointed, and it'll be a great lead-in to the World Cup next year to see some of the players that you might well see gracing the gold of Australia come July and August. We'll take a little bit of a break here and find out just exactly how long it might be before we're going back on. But thanks very much, Ashley Sykes, for filling a bit of the gap with us here. It's been good having you here. We're hoping we'll see some football, and we'll be back on as soon as we can.
when you don't see the sun for a year and then it's a lot. I'm not an older all the time. I'm 75 probably, you know, you don't want to know that. You think I'm still 40, I can run around after that, you know, I'm dirty now. Yeah, I've been all of them, all the tournament ones, and the football ones as well. No, I'll tell you later. And he was the same when he comes out of his head. Yeah, if he comes, he came last time without Johnny and the three of them, just came on the go. And we did 15 games for 10 days. It's kind of funny, just give you a lot of time. No, that's it. I'm still not keen though, I can't remember if it was. No. Anyway, so it's good. The original game. Oh, so Australia was from Australia. The first thing you could do was. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's over the last time and we did loads of different rounds. So we did about 10 days. And we did about 14 games in 10 days. I mean, he landed at 6:15 in the morning. And he's never seen a new Wembley. So he did straight to Wembley. So he decided to Wembley Stadium. And then left the car there, jumped on the train, over to Wembley Ground. And then run away across to the London Stadium and got pressed down and got 4 minutes up. and then drove back to Bath. So he left at 6:15 in the morning, landed, and got to my house at 10 o'clock at night. And then we went far down with Plymouth, the end of South West Country. And just lots of little long weekends to get to Bath City and Nelson. Forestry Road because they were doing the quality stages we went to so we haven't been to those grounds before. Maybe we could have gone to and stuff with the sports stadium. We've been there. If there's any more lightning with fun. When you're over, you have to go to the ground so you haven't been to it. Because you have to take the car to lining with lining up here. What do you rough, you know? And they go back on. Yeah, it's going off during the night, so fires are everywhere. And then bit nippy. rookies, there must be, I'm not exaggerating, there must be 5,000 photos. Never mind the ones that are over here. I spent the party in Paris. I spent the party over here every day. 50 quid a month. Full of programs. And then he said, before we do not far away, yeah. give the third one. Yeah, he's waiting on that. But sometimes people sort of have that. Because Adam said that was his team goal, wasn't it? That was his team goal. Like Mars. Tom, are we starting from? do is start from front.
According to my very reliable time, it's 4:44.12.
Green flicks the currency and the gold
Let's talk some football then. Welcome back to Seaford Oval, where we probably are going to get some football. Well, we hope we are. The match between the Comeback Young Matildas green and the Comeback Young Matildas gold. About 6 or 7 minutes away from kicking off again. The storm that's come through in the rain is thankfully, for the time being, passed. I'm Russ Gibbs. Ash Sykes is still with me. She's hung around, keen to watch some football. And we've been chatting all sorts of things off air. When we were on air, we were chatting about the Matildas and how well they've been playing. You never know in a young Matildas squad if this time next year, one of these might be a bolter.
Definitely, anything's possible, and they'll have plenty of contact time between now and then with the coaches here to try and prove their worth. And A-League Women's season coming up, so yeah, anything's possible. Injuries can happen. You can be an amazing talent. We saw last World Cup Mary Fowler come through kind of unexpectedly to those in the uninitiated. So, there's plenty of talent out there in the junior ranks.
We'll look through the two teams again in just a moment. Earlier this morning, Solomon Islands and Fiji played out a 1-1 draw at this venue in slightly better conditions, particularly in the second half. The sun was out. Very muggy atmosphere, but it was a good result. Meant that those two teams finished as they were on the ladder. Solomon Islands 4 points, Fiji 4 points. Young Matildas win the Four Nations competition. Their match against Papua New Guinea cancelled today, but they will finish top. There's a trophy up for grabs, so they grab that as well, which is nice.
Lovely, always good to get some silverware.
But here it's all about player development. You can see them going through the motions, warming up, limbering. We've had approximately, what's it been? I guess about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe, since we were last out on the field. We played 4 minutes and 44 seconds. We will start from that again in a moment. The sides lining up as follows. The goals team is Grace Wilson in goal, Chloe Wallando, Marlobo, Christina Kicic and Tegan Bertalicio across the back. Sara Kruger, Sienna Savaska and Avani Prakash in midfield. Jonty Fisher, Annika Stajic and Josie Allen up front. The green team, Talia Franco in goal, Zoe Karapides, Gemma Ferris, Meg Roden and Peter Trimmis across the back. Shay Holman, Sarah O'Donoghue and Ava Breedis, the midfield three. And the front three, Emily Murray, Rosie Curtis and Sasha Grove. So it's a great sides out there, and Leah Blaney nominally leading the goals. Keelan Hamilton and Osaka Cernak nominally leading the green. But two good teams, plenty of action, plenty of opportunity.
Yep, two even teams, I'd say, across the squads. Evenly matched to try and get a good challenge for both the teams out there, and it'll be good to see once they get it back, get back going and back into the swing of things, how they go.
And kickoff's in 3 minutes' time, which I'm told, so that's going to be good. 5:18 at the moment, 3 minutes away from starting the game again. We've got plenty of stuff to talk about during this match as well. I'm expecting opportunities. We had one shot in the first there from Amelia Murray in the first 4 minutes. It started off really quite intensive, wasn't it?
It was. Everyone sort of, I don't imagine there'd be too many nerves before a game like that, but you get a few pre-match jitters out in those first 5 minutes, and the teams were just sort of settling into their work, and we saw that opportunity before we went off. So, you know, I think they'd probably be, after sitting in the stands for a few minutes or an hour, they'll be nervous and ready to go again, and the teams will settle into their work pretty quickly. Yeah,
I'm sure they will, and it will be a good start from the game. It's going to be a time for us to get the mood together. They will warm up for a while, of course. Ash, they need to. They've sat in the change room for an hour, so it's going to be a while, I guess, for them to warm up out there. Let's have a quick look about what we were talking about earlier as well, the World Cup. And I really want to focus on the fact that for players, it is a pinnacle of a career, isn't it? It is something that you try and push towards at every level.
It is. It's something you dream about, and the young Matildas were, you know, lucky enough to be able to go to the World Cup earlier this year in Costa Rica. And, you know, like you said, any level. It can be young Matildas, it can be Matildas. Everyone's got stars in their eyes, dreaming of being at the pinnacle and representing their country. And these guys out here today are no exception.
Those in goals. We've seen a few of them this week. There's some new players to keep an eye out there. Peter Trimmis has come down and Gemma Ferris, and they're both into the starting lineup for the green team. For the benches, well, there's a bit of local interest, isn't there? There's, on one side, Sophia Christopherson, Nadia Zachman, Anna Hunts, who's been with the Canberra United side as well, and on the other, Maya Cameron. So good to see some locals getting an opportunity. Yeah,
it's fantastic, and everyone dreams of that phone call that says that they can come in and get a call in and get an opportunity, and you never know what could happen. You know, some of these girls that have been called in late notice might get a chance at a camp at a later date if they get a good performance in today. So, you know, I always found it was beneficial hanging around Canberra. You know, you sniff around, see if there's any injuries, anyone needs a fill-in in the opposition team, and try and put your best foot forward when you get a chance.
Well, we're going to see it very shortly. Referees, match officials are out there. Beck Mackey in the middle, Lauren Hargrave and Anastasia Filakarides. They really had no option but to call that as the lightning was flashing around this ground here earlier this afternoon. But suddenly, well, there's no rain. It's overcast, but it's good conditions now.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? It's looking pretty good. The players got to wait out the worst of the rain in the sheds, so you know they'd probably almost be thankful for a thunderstorm at that point. But the pitch is looking good, isn't it? It looks like it's drained as they were warming up. It didn't look like there was any holding up with the ball, so we should see some free-flowing football.
I'm pretty thankful that they didn't put us on the roof.
I think I would have called it quits long before anyone else if that was the case.
Absolutely, it would have been quite horrendous up there. That rain came down at one stage when we were off air, and it was coming down in monsoon-like.
You could barely see the other side of the field, so we're pretty lucky to have a surface that's drained this well.
I could barely see the other side of the field in normal times. Ash, having that rain didn't help.
No excuses.
Well, we're going to go. Beck Mackey has got the ball, and she's about to get us back underway. 4.5 minutes of action we played. Zoe Karapides is probably going to have it for the Greens, and off we go. We've got some football, Ash Lights.
How good. Sunday afternoon football back underway.
Ball is swept forwards from Gemma Ferris. Tegan Bertolicio will be able to get us underway for the goals. Kicic picked off by Ava Breedis. Back for Ferris. Meg Roden, who we mentioned, if you didn't catch the start of this game, doesn't normally play centre-back. No. She plays further up front with Ash Sykes at Canberra Olympic.
She does, and she's trying to show off her skills as a centre-back now, picking off a pass there. Very well done. Sometimes
forwards make good defenders, even if they don't really want to be there. I'm sure Meg Roden wants to be there.
Can't think of anything worse, but if you get a chance at pulling on the green and gold, I'm sure you play any position you're given an opportunity to.
Absolutely you would. You would not be turning it down. Sena Saveska looking for Alan. Karapides steps in front of her though, and Predis tries to play it forwards. Understandably, might not have the zip of the early 4 minutes because that warm-up wasn't quite as intensive as what they went through in the first instance.
No, it wasn't. Hopefully they were doing some stuff in the sheds because that was very short and sharp.
Yeah, I'm sure they were keeping themselves. There's a couple of big change rooms below us, isn't there? There's plenty of room to knock a ball around if you want to.
There is, yeah.
And I'm sure they've got their physiotherapists working on those muscles.
As we were saying before, just as the rain delay started, it's a great chance to practice what could happen in real games. A-League Women's last year saw a few rain delays, and it's good to be able to practice doing that sort of thing now.
You were here a couple of years back when it had the exact same thing with the Lightning for Canberra United.
Haven't had much luck at Seaford. It's a beautiful field, but yeah, that was 4 minutes were the most football we've seen here for a while.
Wilson's ball over the top. It's going to find its way all the way through to Talia Franco. Josie Allen is rapid. We've seen her during the week, how quick she can be. Prakash against Karapides here. Well done by the central right back, I should say. Roden. One's picked off by Bertolicio. Jonty Fisher will run, but Trimis happy to tidy up and go back to Talia Franco. One of those players, Peter Trimis, must be pinching herself that she's out there. Wasn't in the original squads, one of those ones that was called up to come down.
Yep. Should be looking to impress. She hasn't been in here with everyone else for the week, so she might even have some fresher legs and able to get up and down the line there. The green team's has had a few players in space in the midfield, so as soon as they can settle in and find those players, I think they might start having some joy.
Murray pulling it across the 6-yard box, real opportunity on the far post, and it's tapped in by Sasha Grove. She gets the first goal of the afternoon in the 8th minute. A ball across from Murray, drop of the shoulder, great piece of defensive attacking work by Amelia Murray, and when the ball ricocheted across the 6-yard box, well, Sasha Grove wasn't going to miss from there.
No, it was great bit of winger work there by Murray. She set her defender up and breezed past her to deliver a great cross through there. And Sasha doing like all good wingers should be doing, following up at the back post, gets a good tap in.
Great pick-up as well. You said in the green were just about to launch an attack and they scored. Can you keep saying that so we can get some more goals?
Looking pretty good here.
O'Donoghue. The break may have done them a bit of good. They've settled down here. Roden. Well, good. We've waited that long for a goal. We've got one. Great ball from Roden to find Grove.
A great first touch there.
Really came into her own for Canberra United last year, didn't she? She's grown into that role.
She has, and she's been asked to play. Another one of those players who's been asked to play a lot of different positions in club football and rep football, so she's getting lots of experience all over the park.
Kruger finds Allen. Charged down by Karapides. He's going to get there in midfield as well. Forces it for O'Donoghue. Murray will chase this. Bertolicio needs to get back and defend it, and does that very well. Silveska. Good challenge by Curtis. O'Donoghue. Breedis thought about it. Not shy to have a go, and that zips off the surface, and that's why you hit it from there.
Bit of wet weather football is going to cause some challenges for the keepers and everyone all over the pitch. So, yeah, not worth a shot there.
Grace Wilson picks herself up gingerly off the floor. She caught her fingers in the turf when she was trying to field that. No one's gone near Breedis off the corner for the green team, and she looks to swing it towards the far post. Chance here for two, and nodded just past the post. I think it might have been Karapides who got in and got the touch on it.
Great delivery there from the corner. Yeah, nice to try a short option there, and the ball in was fantastic. Just needed a little bit more on the touch, but that was a good opportunity.
Used the pace of the ball beautifully to just guide it towards goal. The green side have come out really sharp here.
They have, yeah. Yellow's looking a little bit unsettled at the moment. Need to settle in, find feet.
Strong run from Kijik from central defence. Prakash challenging with Ferris, who came a long way from central defence to try and close that down. Kijik. Lobo with the captain's armband. Murray, opposite number. Curtis. Oh, she's looking for the forward run of Karapides. Well, since the break, it's fair to say the green side have come out and settled a little bit better. You're watching Well, the Combat Young Matildas goal will be the Combat Young Matildas green in place of the scheduled Young Matildas versus PNG game. PNG unfortunately unable to field the side through a raft of injuries and unavailability. I think they were down to something like 12 players or something, and you just can't play an international match with that many.
No.
Chloe Wallando back for Lobo. It's been a great week, the Pacific Nations Tournament, brought to you by Football Australia, co-funded by Pacific Oz Sports and DFATS. Thanks to everyone for getting the Solomon Islands, Fiji and Papua New Guinea here to play these matches. And we're finishing with an exhibition game. Prakash looking for the run of Stajic. Might be an exhibition game, but as I mentioned to Ash Sykes before, there will be pride on the line here. Neither side will want to lose. Chances to impress Leah Blaney.
Good attacking run there by Stajic up front. She's just drifting off the shoulders of her defenders, so I think that they just need to keep an eye on her. Yellow can unlock that. They might get more joy in behind.
She's shown throughout the week, Annika Stajic, the way that she likes to play on the shoulder of defenders. She's quick enough if they can find the delivery. Yep. Saveska. Karapides wins the header only as far as Prakash. Good challenge by Roden. But Alicia wins it back. Kruger. Happy to slow things down. Enable the goal team to build something. But Alicia, that's a cracking ball. Tremis challenge with Prakash. Good pace by the fullback to win that back. She looks second favourites.
She did excellent work there to get her body in the right position to make that challenge. It was fantastic.
It looked like Prakash had stolen a march at one stage.
Yep.
Trimis not having a part of that. The Ladies Young Matildas won both their matches during the week, beat the Solomon Islands 2-1. Goals from Ravani Prakash and Ella O'Grady, and a 3-0 win over Fiji. Amelia Murray, Sienna Saveska and Josie Allen with the goals. I know Leah Brainey worked them really hard prior to those games as well, so in a couple of those matches they went in really fatigued, which was on purpose to see how they would react. Come back to your point on that in a minute, Ash, because Sasha Grove has it. O'Donoghue, Karapides, Holman. Nice work from the Greens. Roden to Ferris. But coming into games, practice matches as you would fatigued. It's not unusual, is it?
No, it's not. You know, when you're working hard, sometimes you got to be able to perform under fatigue, especially tournament football. You know, short turnarounds.
Great ball forwards for Murray. Finds it back for Trimis. Good delivery in. Curtis was there. It almost came to her. Might get a piece of it anyway. Kruger battling for it. And you mentioned tournament football. It is a different beast, isn't it?
It is a different beast, and that's what they've got in front of them heading into next year. So you got to be able to see who can perform and back things up under fatigue, and that's when you really test decision-making abilities of players. You can't just rely on, you know, outpacing someone to get to the ball or get into your defensive position.
Former Matildas and Canberra United star Ashley Sykes they're talking about next year as the cross comes in, is clipped off the crossbar. Karapides, well, she maybe saw an angle for an opportunity, or maybe it was a miss it. We'll give her the former.
Yep. Benefit of the doubt. Saw the keeper off the line there and went for it.
Clipped the crossbar. Her reaction suggested she did see Wilson off the line. Ash Sykes was referring to the AFC Under-20 Women's Qualifying Group C matches next year. 4th of March, Iraq. 8th of March, Guam. 12th of March, Kyrgyz Republic. So not much break in between any of those for the Matildas, and they have to win the group. One of 8 groups. The winners go to round 2, which will be played from June 3 to 11. So again, an intensive period, and then the 4 best sides from there will earn a spot in the finals.
It's a cutthroat schedule, isn't it, Russ?
A lot of work for a week, and then it could all come unstuck. We hope it doesn't, of course. We have full faith in the side that they'll go and do everybody proud.
For sure.
Kijik under pressure. Manages to step away. She's looked really good. They said to us that she was 15. Wow. Christina Kijik, the central defender.
Wow, you wouldn't notice it, would you? She's holding her own out there. She's doing great.
And Leah Blaney said she was real high hopes for her in this environment, and she has settled in really well. Formed a good partnership with Maya Lobo in the centre of defence. Saveska, who is Lobo. Looking for Murray. A feature of the Young Matildas games during the week was to use their wide players, whether it be Murray or Grove or Allen and Fisher, to really stretch the field.
Yeah, I've noticed that so far. The wingers are the ones providing the width, and the fullbacks are sitting a little bit more narrow, which in recent years we've kind of seen the opposite of in a 4-3-3 sort of formation in Australia. So it's an interesting twist, and you know, depending on where you sit, I love a wide winger. You know, sitting on the, it's a bit more old-fashioned than a sort of internal rotated winger. It's been in fashion in recent years.
You can see it here with Fisher hugging the touchline, looking for Saveska.
You get those third man runs sort of through from the midfielders, which is, yeah, been looking dangerous so far.
Coolly down by Ava Bridis. Roland Doe will do the tidying up. Sasha Grove will put her under pressure. Were you therefore a little surprised last night when you saw the formation for the full Matildas?
I was a little bit surprised, but I'm happy to see it. I think it unlocks, you know, some of Australia's strengths. You know, up front, Sam and Caitlin were outstanding, and I think it, yeah, obviously works well against Sweden. Sweden usually play a 4-4-2, so it was good for Matildas to give them a piece of their own medicine.
And they certainly did with a 4-0 win. Certainly worked.
It worked. It worked. We'll see in the return fixture whether the tactics change from either team. You know, now's the time to sort of try things out still, I think, and start to formulate what options might be available to you heading into the World Cup next year.
Yeah, stern tests lie ahead. Touch from Holman, forcing Ferris backwards. And rather does herself on the surface. A few players slipping and sliding.
Yeah, I think in the corners it looks like it's a little bit more damp and proving challenging.
Bertolicio with the throw. Not much movement for her. Saveska did come and help. Murray has it back. Bridis, interesting ball across the face of her own goal.
Had my heart in my mouth for a second there. Worked out well.
Franco finds Roden, who in turn finds Karapides. Good pressure to win it back for the goal team. Prakash. And then just caught Shea Holman. And a yellow card for Vani Prakash. Didn't think we'd be seeing one of those today.
Stamp on it early.
Well, I guess Beck Mackey, as a referee, has been told to referee it as a proper game. So
yep.
If that's a yellow card, that's a yellow card.
Good lessons to learn from everything.
I was wondering if Leah Blaney was going to blow up at herself by running into the other dugout.
That's not on.
And then back to the other one going, what are you talking about? She's passed over the control of the green side to Keelan Hamilton and Azaka Cernak. But she was having the chats with both teams before kickoff, and I'm assured she will be in both change rooms at half-time for certain periods to talk about what she wants in the second half.
She set herself up for a challenge there, isn't it? You've got to watch both teams and think of coaching points, but, you know, she's a top-quality coach, so I'm sure she's up for it.
20 minutes gone in this delayed encounter. Australia lead Australia by 1-0.
Australia coming out on top.
Green lead goals. Sasha Grove, a local Canberra United player, on the score sheets. Trimis. Chance to bring it forwards. Away from Saveska. Finds Murray. Too quick for Bertolicio. You can see driving through the puddles, Amelia Murray. Trimis again. Started really well, the fullback, and that's a great ball into the penalty area. Lobo got rid of it, and it's fallen for Stajic, but it's left fullback. Certainly taking a chance at the moment.
She is, and great work by Murray there to create a bit of space, and Trimic overlapping gets it across him.
Kicic. Ferris stabs a foot at it. Karapides. Both fullbacks, in fact, for the Green have been involved heavily in this opening quarter of the contest.
Yeah, they've really had the field position to take advantage of it so far. We haven't seen the Yellows get controlled possession up the field yet.
But Alicio met it on the volley. Probably a good decision in these conditions.
Growing up in England, you probably would have experienced plenty of wet weather football, Russ. You know what it means, what works, what doesn't work.
I used to love it as a forward because it zips off the surface. It's horrible for keepers. You just follow up everything.
Yep. It's a nightmare for them, and you're going to have a fun day.
Growing up in England, we didn't experience much non-wet weather football, to be honest. Occasionally I walk out and there'll be that yellow thing in the sky that we saw occasionally.
Yeah.
Not very often. Plenty of games in the snow as well, which were interesting.
That's exciting.
Hail, whatever it might be. Didn't have many called off though. Just got on with it.
A bit tougher up there, are you?
Well, no, because if we had them called off, we'd never play. 2 games a season if we called it off.
Yeah.
For any of the weather.
Yeah.
Bit nicer commentating in the conditions here normally, although we were reminiscing off air about a local game which Ash played in a semi-final, which had monsoon-like rain.
It was miserable. Really makes you rethink your footballing choices sometimes. The weather you end up playing in.
The good far outweighs the bad, though.
Yep, certainly.
Karapides finds Grove. A little bit of miscommunication, and there's Josie Allen down holding her ankle on the far side. Hopefully that's not too bad. Maybe a slight twist on the surface. You mentioned it though, you've played here before. It drains beautifully. They've done immaculate work on it, haven't they?
They've done great work. It's come a long way. It's primarily used for rugby league, but it's come up great, especially in the last few years, getting the surface more football appropriate, but it's drained really well and probably be looking good for the A-League Women's Canberra United game here in December.
December 23rd, Melbourne City, the visitors. As I mentioned before, we went off air at the top of the broadcast initially. Wherever you're watching around Australia, if you've not already done it, buy yourself a membership to your local Liberty A-League team and get down there and support women's football ahead of a huge year. The 2022-23 Liberty A-League season kicks off next Saturday. And then, of course, next July and August, it's the FIFA Women's World Cup. You can see some of the players already stretching out cramp. Jonty Fisher on the gold side and Zoe Karapides on the green. And that's not just from what we're seeing playing on a heavy surface here. It's also probably to do with the fact that they've had a really tough week.
Yeah, they'd probably be feeling it, you know. All you need after a hard week of training is a nice wet surface. It really makes every step a battle. So, yeah, interesting that they're needing to be stretched out already, but also understandable after being put through their paces this week.
Josie Allen getting a fair bit of treatment on that far side. Hoping from everyone's point of view that it's not too bad. We saw some bad injuries during the week. Unfortunately, Padilla from Papua New Guinea got a broken nose, I think, and then Jemina Davids, who scored 3 goals and was top goal scorer in this tournament for the Solomon Islands, she injured her back and had to be stretched off, and we hope she's okay as well. And then, of course, PNG's raft of injuries, which mean they couldn't play. And the Fijian match that I did against the Solomon Islands on Friday, the last 5 minutes of that game, there was players littered all over the park, down injured, stretching things out. A little cramp here and there. It was
Carnage.
Almost carnage towards the end. They gave their all.
Yeah, and when you push yourself hard in those international matches, any chance to wear your nation's jersey will push you to your limits, and sometimes that means your body won't follow where your mind wants to go.
It's a real inspiration for everybody watching. It was just like the running till they drop. They say that sometimes, and people use it as a cliche, but we saw it during the week.
Yeah.
Alan getting a bit of treatment and physiotherapy on that far side, bouncing around to see if that ankle's okay. I'm sure they won't risk it if there's any doubts. That's a bad back pass, and Murray almost stole in. Grace Wilson won't be thankful for that. She did well, though.
Very well.
And then Silveska's played it straight to Sasha Grove. Real chance for two here, and Sasha Grove cuts it home. Simple finish for the winger. Another poor back pass from the Gold, and Grove, well, she's in the mood to take advantage. The Green lead 2-0.
Really hanging around there, looking for an opportunity there, Grove, and unfortunately Gold gave it to them twice in a row. That Grace Wilson got put under pressure by a back pass, but you know, sometimes you have to be opportunistic, and Green have taken advantage of that.
It looks like Josie Allen is not going to make it back. Number 6 coming on is Anna Hunt. And Allen will wander around. Jonty Fisher's gone to the far side. The change in goal as well. Grace Wilson for the Gold has been replaced. It looks like Zara Board from the Green has gone across to the other side.
Wilson was struggling with fingers or something like that earlier in the game, so makes sense that she must have succumbed to something there.
I think it was the shot that came from distance, and maybe she jammed her fingers in the ground. And
looks like it, yeah.
She's been replaced by Zara Board, who was named in the Green side, but now is playing for the Gold. That's the kind of afternoon we've got.
Just got to make it work.
Anna Hunt has come to this near side. Fisher's gone to the right, to the left. So a couple of changes for the Gold team in the early stages. Breedis won the header. Cash has taken over and then hauled to the ground by Ava Breedis.
Gold will be looking to make up for that slight error before and really get themselves back into the game, I think, here, Russ.
They trail by 2, both goals to Canberra United's Sasha Grove.
There's great pressure on the ball from both sides, I think. Every time someone gets the pass, especially as coming into the midfield or to one of the fullbacks, there's immense pressure on the ball from the defending team, which is good to see.
There's a mistake at the other end and a chance for Hunt maybe to capitalise. Ferris made sure that the substitute couldn't get on the end of it. Trimis back to Ferris. Long ball forward towards Grove. Couldn't bring it down. She's on an international hat-trick.
There you go.
Yeah. Did you get one of those?
Eventually, I managed to jag one in a tough-fought 18-0 win.
We saw your sister earlier. She grabbed one, didn't she? She was quick to tell us who was against as well.
Yeah. Nick was here boasting earlier about her. She got the first international hat-trick in the family.
Against Finland.
Against Finland for the young Matildas. She turned herself into a left-back and the goals dried up from there, so...
She also said it was the perfect hat-trick. Left foot, right foot, header.
Oh, look, she thinks everything she does is perfect, Russ. I wouldn't take too much from that.
Head coach of the Canberra Olympic NPL side, which won our grand final here locally in Canberra, and also won the Federation Cup as well. Good ball forward from Bertolicio. Hunt slipped, unfortunately, as she was lining up. The shots come cross.
Bad timing, unfortunate timing there for Anna Hunt, but she's done really well to beat her player and find some space driving infield.
Might not be obvious on the screen, but the rain is coming down again quite heavily. Seems to be where the pitch does slope from the middle out for drainage, and just out on these flanks it is quite treacherous underfoot. O'Donoghue thumps it forward in behind. An easy one though for Zara Board. Kijik, well, that's a heavy one back to Board as well. What's going on there? Grove got a challenge in, almost was presented with another goal.
You can see they're sniffing around for any opportunity to pick off errant passes.
Grove and Karapides swapping passes. Karapides bursting forward from right back. Stopped by Lobo. Well, the chances that the Green are being presented with here are coming mostly from the goals making. Yeah. O'Donoghue. But they've done well to put the pressure on to force those errors.
It's great high pressure, and the wingers are really tucking in and providing that extra piece of pressure so that they can't switch the ball out into space. And also, luckily, you're there for whenever a pass doesn't quite go to feet. It's really good opportunistic high press work by Green. They're working well together.
Not sure what Grace Wilson and Tara Board have done in camp to deserve those back passes.
It's been a long week.
Prakash finds Kicic. That's a bit better for Board. She did well to put the pressure on Grove, actually, to make it hard for the forwards.
Yep.
Well, as you mentioned, when you're playing against people that you know reasonably well, you've been with them all week, you probably learned what their strengths and weaknesses might be. It makes it very hard.
It does make it hard, you know, yeah. No one has the benefit to hide anywhere, and she's probably seen something in her teammates or instructions from the coach to sort of press in on them when they're not having a good look over their shoulder before they make those passes.
Holman has some space here. And there's a one right in the face, and that would have hurt as well.
I think on the flip side for Gold Rush, if they're getting high press like that and the wingers are really tucking in, it means there's space elsewhere for them to find free players. So, you know, if they can find a moment to think and consider on that and a bit of time on the ball, then try and find where that space is to take advantage of the high press that's coming from Green.
The Green lead 2-0, 2 goals from Sasha Grove. This will be for the Gold. Well, this is something different for them this week. Most of those players obviously were playing in the games which they were winning against the Solomon Islands and against Fiji. They haven't been behind in the tournament this week, even though the other half also haven't either. But you know what I'm getting at. It's another learning curve for them. It's another opportunity to try and force their way back into a game.
Certainly, you know, what tactics are you going to employ and what's your mindset, I think, is probably the most important point at this stage of the game. We're like half an hour in, I think. So how are you going to get your team back into the game? How are you going to get that one goal and how are you going to make it achievable? You know, if you think, you know, two goals is too big, just start with one, try and lock it down so they don't score any more goals and see where you go from here. But any opportunity at the moment in these sorts of games and camps is always a learning opportunity.
And you mentioned it as well, actually. It is something that might happen in tournament football. And we saw it at the start, and it was only 4 minutes and 45 seconds, but the Gold were having a lot of possession. They were playing quite well together. We had the break. We've come back out, and it's the Green who suddenly have had the momentum, and they've got a couple of goals off the back of it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Those breaks can be perfect for one team and awful for the other. So, you know, maybe all Gold needs is half-time, and they can switch it back on again. You know, that's how the game goes. And oftentimes coaches speak about, you know, in Canberra United, it's been a big five sort of moment, and that's breaks of play are often opportunities to try and swing momentum. So hopefully another stoppage after this most recent stoppage, Gold can get themselves back together.
And you learn from every game you play, don't you? And you never stop learning.
Definitely. Still playing locally this year, I'm still learning things, and these guys have got plenty to learn. Although I'd say they're much more talented than I was when I was 18.
Free kick there awarded by Beck Mackey. Good opportunity for the referees as well. Lobo sends it forwards. Wants Fisher to chase. Karapides is quicker across the ground though. Composed and confident in possession and in her own ability to come away. Maybe too confident on that occasion.
Yeah.
Holman tidies up though, and that's a good intelligent ball for Breedis.
Breedis is finding great space in between the defensive lines there.
Murray foot race with Bertolicio. Kicic came across to help out. O'Donoghue put the ball in towards Murray, and there's another example of that width that both these teams are playing with. Good point you made about Ava Breedis as well. She does pick up some real pockets of space where she can cause danger.
Yeah. Just sitting off the shoulder of those midfield defenders, not quite where the defensive line want to come and put pressure on her, and she's just picking them off.
Roden looking for her in that gap, but Bertolicio was there. Hunt's pull forward, Stajic, Prakash. Again, Jonty Fisher is rapid, but we've been impressed with what we've seen about Zoe Karapidis this week. She is very quick across the ground. It's going to have to be an inch-perfect ball to get Fisher in behind her. O'Donoghue. Trey Holman. Grove. Again, hugging the touchline and swinging it into the penalty. A good ball in. Board's got a piece of it. Comes out for Breedis, who drives it back through the crowd and into the bottom corner. In that pocket of space we just identified, and first on the scene to drive home a third goal for the Combank Young Matildas Green.
Great build-up play there by Green to release Sasha Grove on the right-hand side, and she delivered a really dangerous cross. You see it so many times, a cross that goes in between the defensive line and the goalkeeper, really causes some uncertainty. Keeper did well to save the initial attempt, but there was nothing stopping that second one from Breedis.
You were mentioning it earlier when I was talking about how you like playing in the way if you're a forward. That's exactly what I mean. The goalkeeper's done what they can do, but it's come out and Breedis has followed up and reacted quickest. Still needed finishing.
Yeah, really tidy finish from Breedis there. Just left foot into the corner, bottom corner. She made it look easy, didn't she?
Yeah, minimum of fuss.
Yeah.
Maximum rewards. 3-0 to the Greens. Bertolicio, Prakash. Bertolicio, Stajic, Prakash. It's a good ball as well, and just again, bits too heavy. They played some neat and tidy stuff, the Golds.
They are, and they're also finding some joy there in between the lines with Prakash. Stajic oftentimes popping off the line, laying it off to someone just in behind, and the wingers trying to make a diagonal run in behind.
Murray has it. Happy to go back to Franco. Normally you would say that there's a big half-time team talk coming up for Leah Blaney. Her team 3-0 down, but her team are also 3-0 up. So
I'd say there'd be pretty contrasting team talks.
It'd be interesting to see. Love to be a fly on the wall when she goes from one room to the other, because there is some good things being done by both teams.
Yep.
I'm sure there's some areas that she's identified that she wants improved on both as well.
Certainly, yeah. You can be 3-0 up and still have plenty to work on. So, and they've had some goals from turnover of possession as well. So, Green's still with a job to do.
Look like they've got the right choice of studs in though. They're not slipping as much as those in golds.
Sometimes everything's going your way.
Murray finds Trimis, swings it in, was caught rather late there by Bertolicio. Rarely see them
tell you what, that's look, I might be biased as a striker, but that's a shout for a penalty.
I was just saying the other day, I was watching a game with my father who's over here from the UK, and saying you never get them given as a forward. Anywhere else on the pitch, it's a free kick.
Yep. If you think of it like you've just given away a pass and someone's caught you late, it's the same sort of interpretation as I understand it. So it should be the same in the penalty box.
We saw a couple given in the Liberty A-League last year. They did clamp down on it for a little bit, but it seems to be, like most things, they clamp down on it for a few weeks and then it goes by the by.
They've got something else to clamp on, but
there's always something,
by then.
Yeah, always something different. We'll pull on the arm of Zara Kruger. It'll be a free kick here to the Golds. They will look to try and reduce this deficit. 5 minutes to the break. Kicic for Lobo. Touch from Saveska. Wallando played it forwards. Fisher has closed down very quickly, but it's going to break for Chloe Wallando. Green very well organised in 2 blocks of 4. Not much gap between them either. O'Donoghue. Curtis. One for Breedis to chase, but Hunt comes back for goals.
They're very comfortable playing first touch, aren't they, Russ?
They are, yeah. They've been. It's almost like they've been playing together for a long time. This Greenside, they've been. Both teams showing good technique. The only thing I think, from a goal perspective, perhaps, is that when it gets to the final third, it's not quite clicked.
No. Yeah, you're right. They've managed to move it up to this middle third now, and they just need the final piece of the puzzle.
I'm sure it will come there. Every minute that they play on this park will be a bit more experience for everybody. Kruger. Lobo, that's a tough one on this surface for it to deal with. Touch wasn't great. Came at a fair old rate of knots, though. O'Donoghue's been very impressive. Breedis. Holman, neat and tidy as usual. Trimis. Roden. Looks for Grove again. Been hugging that touchline. Sasha Grove, and causing problems. There's another ball into the area. Difficult one for the keeper to deal with under pressure from Murray, who got too close to Zara Board. It will be a free kick. But it's noticeable, Sasha Grove is literally on the touchline.
She's going to have chalk on her bum by the time this game's finished, but they've had great joy with that diagonal ball out.
What's it? Zara Board.
Not that one, but...
Well, she got out.
She did get out, yeah. No, Green have had great joy kind of finding that diagonal ball out to their wingers and letting the wingers go one-on-one or do nice 1-2s around their defenders.
Christina Kijik, well, she wants to bring it halfway up the park here. Prakash. Hunt. Good tracking back by Holman with Trimis, who's been exceptional, the fullback.
She has done very well so far, had a great first half.
O'Donoghue. Roden. A bit fortunate with the ricochet off of Fisher. Saveska's got there. It will break for Jonty Fisher. Saveska to swing it into the penalty area. It's taken a deflection. It might come out here for Hunt, but Trimis is there.
Very coolly dealt with.
Thought the deflection might find Hunt, only for the pace of Trimis wearing the number 8 to come across. Been playing futsal, I understand. 10 goals in her last 2 futsal matches.
Wow, she's flying.
And the left back. Not bad, is it?
Not bad. Plenty to learn from futsal. Get a good touch to bring into left back.
It sounds like they might be able to deploy her up front if necessary. Karapides. Ferris. Holman. Murray. Away from Bertolicio. Silky stuff, and she'll take on Kijik as well and get past her too. Amelia Murray looking for the ball on the far post. Grove's coming in. Sasha Grove for a hat-trick. First half hat-trick for Sasha Grove, created by Amelia Murray, but beautifully taken. 1 touch to control and 1 touch to bury it in the far corner. And the Greens, well, they're 4 up.
Again, it comes from finding a winger really out wide who set her defender up perfectly. 1 touch past. Also got the centre back and delivered an early cross in for opposite side winger Sasha Grove, who took her chance perfectly. She'll be very happy with that first half, I think.
Can't be bad. That's an international hat-trick.
There you go.
Finished with aplomb as well. A player bursting with confidence at the moment, but Murray, the drop of the shoulder to get past Bertolicio, and then the strength to get past Kijik. Excellent stuff. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. See what the couple of minutes, I'd imagine. We had a few injuries. But everything that they've been asked to do, the Green, they've done it, and they've done it well.
They've dealt with all the, defensive jobs that they need to do, and attack's certainly flying. There's that diagonal pass again.
And Murray looking for Trimis. What I like about Amelia Murray, as the half-time whistle goes from Beck Mackey, what I was going to say, Ash, is well, from Amelia Murray's perspective, she's got the silky skills of a winger, but she's physically strong as well, and you can see it where she dropped the shoulder to get past Bertolicio, then the strength to get past the second, and then the end product.
Yeah, it's fantastic work by her. You got to have that little bit of skill to suck a player in and take it past her. And there's always going to be the covering defender, and oftentimes centre backs are a bit stronger. So if you need to get into a physical challenge, you've got to be able to ride those out.
But we had to wait a while for it to get underway once we did kick off. But once we had, from the restart, it's been excellent watch. It's been excellent for the Greens' point of view. Sasha Grove with a first-half hat-trick and a goal from Ava Breedis means at the break here, the Green have the upper hand on their compatriots. It's Gold 0, Green 4. Welcome back to Seaford Oval, where there's going to be some changes to the teams. We'll try and make head or tail of it when it happens, because I'm seeing Lillian Skelly ready to come on. I'm also seeing, I think it's my camera, but she's on the other team. We'll wait and see, may have swapped around. We'll see what happens anyway. Changes to come. I'm Russ Gibbs, Ash Sykes is with me. We enjoyed that first half, Ash, didn't we? There was plenty of goalmouth action, plenty of good quality, and plenty of good football.
Very entertaining, yeah. It was good to get it underway after a bit of a delay, and good to see the team play some free-flowing football and get some goals as well. And hopefully the break means this yellow team can come out and charge forward now.
Yeah, we will see what happens. We're probably not going to get the substitutes board, so we're going to have to figure out who's come off, which is going to make it interesting. Oh, we might get the substitutes board. Here we go. Gold made a change. John T. Fisher replaced by number 7, Lillian Skelly. And a change for Green as well. Adelaide Wyszynski is coming on, wearing number 5. And she'll replace Sasha Grove, who's obviously not done enough. Hat-trick in the first half. I think her work is done.
All her good work is done. Now it's someone else's turn.
A chance for us to see Adelaide Wyszynski. Lillian Skelly, the number 7 for the Gold. She's 15 years old, from Crookwell. Called into the squad as one of the extra players they needed. Well, what an opportunity for her.
That's fantastic. I do love to see a good country girl get an opportunity, so I'm wishing her all the best in this second half.
You've been one as well.
Yes, yeah. Look, I'm not going to claim to be completely unbiased in some of this.
Gold attacking the goal to our right. Lobo's played it forward. Line runner is Stajic. Happy to leave it. Swung into the middle and easy for Franco. Be good to see the changes to see what they can do. Roden plays it forward. Murray controlled it with the knees, did well. Ferris. Breedis, little touch, but wasn't quite where she wanted it, and that was picked up by Kruger. Silveska. Rondo played it backwards, and via Lobo it's found its way to Bertolicio. Prakash. Stajic, Prakash. Looking for Stajic, much better from the gold.
That's a good combination play that's been developing through the first half between those two. Prakash, now the one finding that space in between the lines, is a good number 10 does, combining well with her 9.
Karapides, Roden, Holman, Karapides going long, looking for Rosie Curtis. Didn't see too much of Rosie Curtis in the first half. She led the line. Most of the attack so came down the flanks.
It's doing a lot of hard work, I think, for them in that press and setting up the play and the counter-attack that they ended up taking advantage of.
Yeah, it was her press that led to the turnover for the first goal. A lot of work being done unseen and unsung, really.
Definitely not what you'd normally expect from your 9, but, well, to be honest, probably what is expected now of your number 9. Not as much. When you were playing Russ, I hazard a guess the high press wasn't as popular.
There was no press, 0 tracking back from me.
Nowadays, a lot more is asked of the 9 and the wingers in particular.
Used to be just hold it up and then get on the end of things that came in the penalty area. There's a yellow card coming out here. Ava Breedis in the book. She scored the 3rd goal.
It's good to see. I mean, she's got a yellow card there, and we saw one in the first half as well. But good to see the girls aren't holding anything back in their challenges. They're getting stuck in like you would in a regular game, even though you normally consider these guys as your teammates.
Yeah, no love lost, which is great to see. It's actually been a very competitive match, which is what you were hoping to get. Weren't sure we were going to get it, but we have. Well done by the substitutes.
No wide option there for Green, which in the first half was really their outlet. Whenever they got caught up with the ball in the midfield, they'd look for their wingers as the outlet pass and go from there.
Roden couldn't keep it in, Adelaide Wazinski. Lobo under pressure from Curtis. Board sliced it somewhat. Got it away from goal, though. That's the important thing. Holman. Dynamic and strong runner. It's the first misplayed pass that Peter Trimmis has made. Stajic operating a long way from the 9 position. Anna Hunt. Can the gold find a way through? Karapides says no. Unceremoniously just launches it forwards.
No nonsense. And the gold have come out really well here, haven't they? They've put together some passes and really settled in possession.
Bertolicio. Kruger. Stajic. They are finding a bit more space. Kruger for Hunt. Going to lift it into the penalty area. Stajic brings it down. Trimmis is forced to go backwards and will concede the throw. Bet Mackie, what's going on here? About to have a chat with Zara Kruger.
Checking for some blood after that hefty challenge earlier, making sure she's not going to get it on anyone else.
Seems to be happy. Trimis in the far corner. Reminder that the Asian Cup qualifiers start in March. Most of the goals for the young Matildas in this competition came in the second half. Well, Green have scored 4 in the first half. Gold looking to get one back.
Ambitious option with a back heel in your final third there, but it's
confidence.
Yep.
Corner kick here. Haven't had many set pieces to watch. We saw during the week they had the bus stop lineup for most of the set pieces. I wonder if we're going to see it here.
That's a good name.
Here it comes.
Here it is.
There it is, the bus stop lineup. In the queue.
In the queue. I haven't heard that name before.
Just thought it looked like people waiting for a bus. So.
Yeah.
Chipped in towards the far post. Just too long for Skelly. It's a difficult one. We talked about it in commentary with Ian Worthington in the Matildas game against the Solomon Islands the other night. When you are in a line like that, it's difficult for the defence because they don't know where you're going.
That's right, and it's hard for them to get touch tight with you because they can't, wrestle into the line. And they get blocked by everyone else. So it is a good option. Made popular, would you say, recently by England in the Euros a couple of tournaments ago, or World Cup maybe?
We've got some big units that can head a ball.
Yeah.
Curtis, good pressure. And the strike from a long way out is a great effort and a super save. What a shot that was from Wazinski. And it's forced a save from board.
Fantastic shot there. She looked up and saw the keeper off her line and tried her luck, and equally good save to deny.
Adelaide Wazinski, playing in the position that Sasha Grove vacated, is almost added to the tally. Into the penalty area. No bus stop routine at the other end. Prakash, can she break? Hunt. Prakash is making the run. The gold shirts coming up in support now. Green's back very quickly.
Good defensive header from the corner there by Gold, and they had an opportunity on the break but didn't quite have the pace to take advantage of a small outnumber.
Kruger. Good ball forward, that. Bertolicio. Again, the idea was right, the execution not quite there. Tegan Bertolicio.
The pitch is running quite fast, so those direct passes in behind aren't quite an option. You need to probably direct it a little bit further away from the keeper at the moment.
Must be hard being a modern day fullback. Back in the day as a modern day fullback, all you did was get it and shift it along. Do a bit of defending. Now you have to up and down the touchline, overlapping runs.
So the requirements are massive, covering many kilometres during a game and being expected to be able to get back and defend and pass and whatever else. It's a tough position.
It's where you used to put the players because no one else wanted to play there. Now it's the ones that are the super fit athletes.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it throughout these young Matildas games, how the fullbacks like to get forward. Chloe Wallando's been doing it all week. Tina Bertolicio as well. Zoe Karapidis when she came on in matches.
Australia really blessed with some great fullbacks in recent years. Steph Catley, Ellie Carpenter, almost like they're made to play that sort of position.
And blessed with athletes as well.
Yes, athletes in general. And we're seeing the next generation of them on show here today.
Enjoying what we're seeing so far. Hunt against Trivis, who will be pulled up for a foul there, I think. Well, the referee's let it go. The system flagged. It's broken its way through to Curtis. Murray, her first real involvement as an attacking force in the second half. Amelia Murray, and she's drifted past the marker again. Joy to watch, really, the winger when she's in possession.
I'm loving it. She just draws her in with a small touch. The defender thinks they got a chance to get a toe in. She taps it past them, glides past them with the ball. It's been a highlight so far.
Of Indigenous heritage, the skipper of the Greens, but an absolute standout. She's actually captained the side in both of the Young Matildas internationals as well. She's the regular skipper of the team.
We saw the bus stop formation get a go there, Russ, but they didn't quite get the delivery in.
Not often you see a winger captaining the side, or there's a mistake. So not often you see a winger captaining a team, but
no,
you can
it's
see
not.
the quality that she brings to the role. Amelia Murray leads by example.
Yeah, that's the perfect description. She's led by example today. She's been calm. And we can't quite hear her communication from here, but I'm sure she brings as much to that as she possibly can.
Yes, these headphones that you've got on there. Keep your ears warm, though.
Exactly. They have some uses.
It's not that cold, although Ash Sykes has put the coat on at half-time.
Still haven't quite got used to Canberra weather after all these years.
It's a bit warmer in Dubbo, isn't it?
It is a little bit hotter.
Ball's worked wide to Murray. Again, this duel with Bertalicia has been interesting to watch. Slip in the water there.
She won that one. It'll be good. She'll feel good about that.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the first half, there's some, particularly at this right end of the park, it seems to be a little bit more damp, a few more puddles.
Yeah, particularly in the corner there where they were trying to do their 1v1 action. A bit of slippage. There's actually splashing of water, so it must be much worse in the corner over there.
Over there, yeah. Long way away from us. In the main stand, Roden finds Wisnicki. Challenge from Wallando. Well, they stemmed the flow of goals that were coming in the first half of goals. It looked a little bit more organised after the first 10 minutes or so of the second half.
And that's what you said, Russ. After that first rain delay, they came out a bit slow gold, and maybe, you know, half-time would do this some good, and it seems like it has so far.
Green is certainly building into it, though. Murray's robbed Hunt. Not much ahead of her. Stajic drops in nicely to keep possession, and that's a lovely ball behind the back from Stajic to Hunt. And the goals with a challenge. Brilliant tackle from Shea Holman. Just slid in, no holds barred, and won the ball.
That was a great tackle, covering tackle. Hunt was away down the wing there. It was a great bounce pass out from Stajic up 9 to get him in behind. The covering tackle was up to the task.
There's another super tackle as well from Severska. And she's gone for the little lob at goal. I'll tell you what, if you wondered whether this was going to be an exhibition with challenges at a premium, well, there's two in about 10 seconds that show you just what it means to these teams.
They're going in hard. It's great. You got to, you know, be up for that at international level. And these girls are, you know, you got to push each other if you want to get better, and that's what these teams are certainly doing. And you know, like you said, bit of wet weather football, bit of sliding around. If you're the attacker, you got to be aware of that.
But Tegan Bertalicio has gone off to be replaced by Sophia Christopherson, who's a Canberra United striker. Anna Hunt has dropped into the right-back position. Christopherson has gone up front. Just signed her first Liberty A-League contract, Sophia Christopherson.
Yeah, great young talent, and, you know, good to see an academy product get an opportunity for Canberra United.
And now in the goals of Australia as well.
Late call-up as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was one of the ones that got the phone call last night when this game was being confirmed.
It's been a good couple of months for her.
Chance to show what she can do. Aggressive striker. You'd have played against her locally.
Yeah, she is an aggressive player, but I think you got to have some players in your team like that.
Good ball in from Wisnicki, and Murray wasn't far away from turning that in. Got the volley on it. Now, what I mean by aggressive, the press is strong. She's strong into the challenge. Not your typical striker. Doesn't mind putting herself about.
She's tenacious. She reminds me, you know, that attitude has been seen in the past with, you know, like Lisa Devanna, doesn't mind getting stuck into challenges and getting into the aggressive side of the game, which is fine if you're willing to get into that sort of battle and back it up with your talent. And, she's got talent to in spare as well as that fighting attitude.
And what she will be is an absolute menace to whoever she's coming up against. That's a guarantee.
Yes.
Let's see if she can impose herself on this contest.
Competitor is probably a better description for her.
There she is. With her first involvement. Gets it down nicely as well. Good technique. Well read by O'Donoghue, who's been very impressive today. Murray up against Hunt now. Different kind of challenge for Amelia Murray. Still does well. Breedis hits it. Lobo put a foot in.
Lobo's been in some great positions so far today to clear those crosses, shots, whatever, and she's been really firm and solid in those clearances.
Beck Mackey stopped the game momentarily. I think she thought there may have been a head injury. But all's well. May have been a knock, but it seems okay. We're going to see a change here for the Greens. Maya Cameron is going to come on for Shay Holman. Maya Cameron, who I commentated on in futsal last night in the CFL.
A few futsal players out there today.
Good grounding in the game. Shay Holman, cracking player. We've enjoyed watching her this week. Great future ahead of her.
Seen Meg Roden pushed out of centre back into the midfield for Shay.
Maybe where she's a little bit more at home, Meg Roden, but although to say that she was excellent at centre back.
Didn't look out of place, did she? She did really well.
Stajic holds it up beautifully again, brings Lillian Skelly into play. The young winger's done well here. It's open up for Saveska. Good ball into the middle, and there's a chance for Christopherson. Got in front of her marker, couldn't quite direct it into the goal, but good run, and I don't think Trimmis saw she was there.
Yeah, great run into the back post there, and great play on the other winger here. She cut in fantastically, and that slip little pass found some space for them.
Much better from the goals. Haven't been able to get on the score sheet yet. Certainly building in the threat, though.
Definitely, they've created a couple of good opportunities in this half. They're looking a lot better.
Kruger misses a kick. Roden. Clip ball forward towards Breedis. Bit too tight to Kijik. Lobo's not messing around. Fine Prakash. Hunt. Trimmis once more. Not just defending, but bringing it forward in a tremendous run. Couldn't quite define Murray because of the deflection.
Trimmis will go home happy tonight with her performance today. She's really shone out there at the left back.
Well, I think, to be honest, Leah Blaney might look at her and go, well, of the players we're bringing in to give them a go, this just goes to show the quality that we've got that isn't in the squad.
Yes. And like, you know, this is the second sort of squad after the team that went to the World Cup. And so they're looking at plenty of different options to even start with for this squad, let alone more talent coming through that get the late call-up. It's fantastic to see for the future of football.
Karapides, we're going to put it over the head of Hunt. Defended it well. Forced backwards though, and Murray's won it back for the green. Lifting it in towards Woznicki. Wazinski, I should say. My apologies. Rain continues to fall. Reasonable crowd in behind us though in the main grandstands. Sheltering from it. There were more here earlier. A couple went home when the game had the lightning. We had some cars around the other sides. Roden sliding it through. Curtis, can she get there? Rosie Curtis, it opens up and a good effort and another fine save from Zara Board to push it over the crossbar. Good firm right hands.
Great run from Curtis there and a cute little touch around a defender to get that shot off, and again, fantastic goalkeeping.
Going to need to be on her toes again as O'Donoghue will send it into the crowd scene. Like to liken this one to the Sydney rush hour on the Metro. right into the air. Great take board. Well, she got her hands on it in the first instance, and then I think she slipped. Skelly's come back to help out. That's well done by the young winger. Breedis under pressure from Saveska. Maya Cameron, her first involvement. Now here's a turnover. Saveska. Can she tee up Christopherson? Bit behind her. Wants a return ball. It comes for Saveska, whose shot takes a deflection off of Cameron. The pass from Sienna Saveska just held up for Sophia Christopherson.
Defensive pressure resulting in another great opportunity for the team here, and I think Christopherson really just needed that pass a little bit further in front of her to take advantage of that space. But still great to get a shot off.
Gone short. Prakash. Back to Saveska. Wants a run forward. It's been made by Kruger. Couldn't quite keep it in play.
Probably just needed a little bit more dynamic movement on that short corner to move the defenders around and create a chance to deliver the ball.
Well, Amelia Murray has done enough for Leah Blaney and her coaching staff. She'll have the rest of the evening off. Ella O'Grady joining us, who came off the bench in match number 1 against the Solomon Islands, scored after 2 minutes of being introduced, and then was injured and forced to come off, so great to see her back. Rosie Curtis has put the captain's armband on. Great performance from Murray. Christopherson's won it back. Tried to force it in towards Stajic. The Green have been good at the back, and they've been confident in possession. Happy to move it around. Ella Grady's first touch. Prakash runs straight into Meg Roden. Rosie Curtis, good touch.
Great touch.
Here's Wazinski. Looking to play it in. There's a good ball in as well. Just a bit too far ahead of Breedis. Lobo dealt with it defensively. Good touch again by Wazinski. And another good ball in. And Lobo again away.
Lobo's been like a wall in defence. Can't get anything past her this half.
Some centre-halves seem to be like a magnet to the ball. No matter where they are in the box, they're just always there.
Yes.
Great positioning. Breedis. Roden. A bit behind her, and it allowed Stajic to come and steal. And then Roden got a bit too tight to Annika Stajic. He's got through a mountain of work as a number 9. Wearing number 11.
Confusing all of us.
Skelly played it forwards. Wallando. Can't tell with numbers these days, can you? It's whatever anyone wants to wear.
Exactly. Great defensive work there by Cameron. Coming onto the field at centre back, it's always hard as a substitute, but she's straight into the flow of things there.
I gave up trying to figure out numbers when I saw a number 10 playing right back.
I always used to curse centre backs that would say attackers numbers.
Christopherson. Trimis. Excellent work again to get rid of it. It's going to come straight back though. Stajic under pressure.
Ball is really flying along around this surface here. It's putting a lot of pressure on weight of pass and first touch.
Just under a quarter of the match to go. All the goals in the first half. A hat-trick from Sacha Grove, one favour of Breedis. A very even contest since the break. Wallando bursting forwards and finds Skelly into the middle. Here's an opportunity for Stajic. Goes down really quickly. And it will be a corner. Great piece of defensive work from Gemma Ferris.
Really good covering defensive tackle there to block that shot. It was really well. It was well worked by Gold. They, played it out from midfield out to the winger again, and a nice little diagonal ball in behind.
That crowd scene in the penalty area again. Saveska to deliver, tried to squeeze it past Curtis, who positions herself well.
They've been trying some trick plays at corners, this goal team. Now's the time to try it, I guess.
Ronaldo sends it backwards. Lobo. It's the first time we've seen a misplace a pass, I think, today.
Yeah. And you could hear, even with the headphones on, the calls for press from Green. They're really trying to identify their moments and put pressure on goal when they think they can win the ball back, and it worked that time.
Well, it's been a worthwhile exercise for Leah Blaney. When PNG unfortunately had to pull out, she was adamant she wanted a match. She was adamant she wanted everything else that went on with it, including this broadcast. Wazinski. Been treating it like a proper match.
Yeah.
The officials and everything that goes with it. And we're glad as well because we can bring it to you live on Bar TV Sports and the FA's YouTube channel. Courtesy of Football Australia. This tournament, the Pacific Four Nations tournament, also co-funded by Pacific Oz Sports and DFATS. It's been a tremendous week. Excuse me.
Great week, great opportunity, not just for these girls, the Aussies out here today, but for all the other teams to play some international matches. And it's, good that they still got a game today to really practice, match conditions.
Roden, Bridis, Saveska, tight. Kruger, Prakash. Gold have certainly been much better and more careful in possession in the second half. And as I say that, of course, they give it away.
Commentators cursed there.
It's almost guaranteed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cameron plays it forward. Bridis is tackled by Saveska, and Kruger is looking to put Christopherson away down that right flank. She will keep it in up against Trimis. And Donahue comes across to help out. Been in imperious form, Sarah O'Donoghue today.
Very solid indeed. There's been some great performances from both teams. I'd say, winning 4-0 at the moment. Green's probably had the better of the run, but from both teams, there's plenty of talent out there on the field.
Green working it. Ferris played it forward. Crossfield ball for Karapides. Skipped off the surface though, and Saveska is interested, and she's off. And here's a chance for Stajic to hit it across goal, and I think the keeper got a hand on that. Looked like it from our angle that perhaps there was a finger, maybe there wasn't. Looked like it, didn't it? There was a touch.
It did look like there was a touch. Great driving run by Saveska, driving at her defender there, and a little well-weighted slip pass for Stajic to take. First time shot that was, like he said, just wide.
Nadia Zachman's come on for Maya Lobo. The Canberra United Academy youngster. Playing the National Youth Championships earlier this year.
Yeah, another talented one, and younger than you'd think. I think she's been around for a little while, but plays like she's the same age as everyone else.
Yeah, wholehearted. Another of those players that seem to have a perpetual amount of energy.
It's tiring just watching them sometimes.
They're both on and off the pitch. Maya Cameron, strong challenge. Skelly's done well since she's come on. Prakash. Kruger forced backwards. Board had to be careful. Good press again from Green.
Green always looking for those opportunities to press when the Gold aren't playing the ball out from the back in a confident manner. Really good opportunistic football.
Slip on the surface, unfortunately. Presents the ball back to Green with Meg Roden. Looking for Wazinski. Again, it skips off the surface. Players obviously getting a little bit more tired now as we enter the last quarter of an hour of the game, understandably so. Giving us good entertainment for a Sunday evening.
Love a bit of Sunday afternoon football. It's been really entertaining.
Roden, Curtis, fighting into the tackle with Kijik. Kruger's got a bit of space now, perhaps, for goals to bring it forward. Zachman, first chance to see her stretch her legs, and she's a willing runner as well. Happy to keep possession. Wallando finds Kijik. Chloe Wallando wearing the captain's armband now in the central defensive role since the substitution of Maya Lobo.
It's good to see how fast the team sort of transitioned from trying a high press to settling themselves in a block a little bit deeper when they realised it's not an option, and Green there took advantage, you know, did that really well and set themselves up to win the ball back.
Brzezinski taking on Zachman. Zachman coming out with it. Wallando, Prakash. Physical battle there with Breedis, who came away with the ball momentarily.
But Crash has been great today. She's been their main sort of playmaker, but needs to, you know, when you get tired, you need the teammates to remind you to make sure you check your shoulder in the midfield there before you receive the ball, so you know where the defenders are coming from.
Zachman instantly into the play with a 1-2 with Saveska. Well won back though. Breedis. Saw her playing the number 10 role earlier in the week, Ava Breedis. Not your traditional 10 as well. She's more than happy to get stuck in and help out in the defensive aspect. There's a swipe at the legs there. They've gone quickly. Prakash, it might break here, and a strike for Skelly. I think it came on her at an awkward angle.
Great opportunity, looking to get moving fast from that free kick there, and almost manufactured a good shot.
Beck Mackey had a chat with Sarah O'Donoghue for the little swipe.
Not getting away with that.
Mia Golding is the last of our substitutes, and she is going to be with us in short notice. She'll get about 12 minutes or so, plus whatever stoppage time. I can't imagine Beck Mackey's going to put a load of stoppage time on this one.
No.
Cameron, calmly done. And O'Donoghue happy to go back to her goalkeeper, Franco.
Really interesting pressing system they've got when they go for a high press. Both teams, the wingers really tuck in and press the centre backs when they get an opportunity.
It's Kelly. It's come here for Prakash. And that was a good chance for the goals, and Franco was well positioned. Good goalkeeping.
Yeah, goalkeepers have been really solid today, Russ.
Here goes Ella O'Grady. She's got Wazinski coming in on the far post if she can find her. Zara Board is happy to take that under control.
She's got plenty of speed to burn there.
Yeah, Ella O'Grady, another one of those wingers that we talked about in the same breath as Amelia Murray, Sasha Grove, Josie Allen, John T. Fisher. Just bags of pace out wide. So many choices.
Yeah.
Prakash. Christopherson, you can perhaps add to that mix as well.
Definitely. They're certainly not lacking in that area out there, are they?
Well, when you look around, everyone who's put in an effort today, there's quality options everywhere for Leah Blaney, including the ones who aren't here.
Yes. And you can just see Gold now, Russ. They're starting to try and push a few passes, trying to take a few longer shots. I think they're certainly feeling the scoreboard pressure and maybe making some attacking choices that they wouldn't usually if they're in the game.
Cameron to bring it a long way. They've turned over possession. It's 4v4 here. Prakash. It's like a defensive drill, this one. Prakash again. Can they work something? Stajic, good efforts. And it was dipping. Franco needed to be alert. Immediate distribution for Adelaide Wazinski. Made herself available, the winger, hasn't she, for the distribution?
She has great outlet option for defenders driving into the midfield.
Here she is again, looking to put it through the middle for Curtis. Wallando was in the way. Prakash couldn't get the weary legs to work.
A slightly tired pass and tired receiving there. Seeing the effects of a hard week of training.
Ferris, Roden, Catapedes. Ferris. Green, happy to knock it around. Cameron. O'Grady was beaten to it, so then comes snapping back into the challenge. Advantage played. They've turned it back over again. O'Donoghue. O'Grady. Curtis. Rides one challenge and then puts it in for Wazinski. Can she deliver something into the area? Good defensive work by Christopherson, who made the run all the way back there. Roden. Neat turn for Breedis. Here's a real chance for Curtis, flags up. System on this near side.
Tell you what, Russ, if we're heading out to yellow cards, I would have expected one for that late challenge from behind before on Hunt, but play went on for a little while afterwards.
Peter Trimmis has had a superb afternoon in the green. Her work is done, and Mia Golding is going to see some action.
Fantastic afternoon. Mia Golding was standing there waiting on the sideline for a little while, couldn't get a stop in play to get on the field. She finally gets her chance.
And noticeably, Leah Blaney had a chat with Peter Trimmis when she came off as well. Probably very impressed with what she's seen.
Certainly.
But yeah, Mia Golding, one of those when you're waiting to come on for what's effectively a debut, I guess.
Would have felt like it lasted forever.
Breedis. But your point about the tackle, yeah, I'm agreeing. Some was a yellow, and Ella O'Grady, well, that looked like a challenge born out of frustration of her week being curtailed slightly because of that injury.
Definitely.
Ferris. Zachman will happily see that one out of play.
Rain's really starting to come down again for these last sort of 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of tricking us a bit, isn't it? It's gone away for a little bit, it's come back a bit, and huge credit to the players for the show they put on in really difficult conditions. Curtis. Swinging in towards O'Grady. Brought it down and is bundled over in the area, and that will be a penalty. Not sure there was much choice for Beck Mackey.
Yeah.
O'Grady brought it down, and Kicic, well, I think when the touch got inside her, was just caught in no man's land, and well, the challenge results in the spot kick.
Yeah, a bit harsh there. I think she had body position in that challenge, really, but the penalty's called, and see what we can come up with in terms of a fifth goal.
Yeah, Ella O'Grady's going to take it herself. The substitute scored, as I said, in a week. What turned out to be the match winner against the Solomon Islands. Confidence to place the ball. And the opportunity to add a fifth. It has been saved brilliantly by Board with her feet. Excellent piece of goalkeeping. And there's a little hug between them just off the ball as well.
Board's been fantastic since coming on.
She's made two really good saves in the second half, and you can add the penalty stop to that catalogue for a highlights reel.
Yeah.
Wasn't O'Grady's greatest penalty, but she went down the middle and Board stuck her leg out and stopped it.
Sometimes those ones down the middle can still come off, can't they? But not today. Board's not letting much past her.
They tend to be the hardest ones for goalies because they usually pick a side, don't they?
Yeah. The momentum, body weight's all going the other direction.
Well, Christina Kicic will feel that there's a little bit of justice in that. She didn't feel like it was a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. That's justice coming back for you.
You see them given, though, don't you? As soon as there's body contact with the players not to ball past another, the referees tend to give it. And credit to Beck Mackey, she was on the spot.
You can see how it goes either way, can't you, really? You know, players taking a touch and tried to go past, and defenders thought she had a right to put her body there, but...
As a striker yourself, you'd want a penalty for that, though.
Yeah, anything in the box is a penalty.
Definitely appealing.
It's not often I side with the defenders, to be honest.
Mia Golding got a foot in that one to stab it out. Well, thankfully, the Storm left us We got underway a bit later than scheduled, just about an hour or so after we'd kicked off. And we're going to see through 90 minutes, which is great for the fans here. Christopherson showing great acceleration to get into the air. Chance here for Skelly. Good piece of defending. It's loose and it's been thrashed wide. What a chance that was for Gold. Stajic, I think it was, who got the shot away in the end. Mike Cameron might have been involved in the defensive work to deny Skelly.
Yeah, great toe in there to stop Skelly from tapping it home, and Stajic was there for the rebound and didn't quite have the target set right on that occasion.
Went for the power. She was cross with herself. She didn't at least hit the target.
She was very cross with herself. I tell you what, it looks good when you power at home, but sometimes the softer options called for.
Sometimes you miss kick it and it goes in, doesn't it?
Yes.
When you're not concentrating too hard on the power. She's taken up some good positions. She really deserves a goal for all the hard work that she's put in today, in my opinion.
Definitely, and that's probably why she's grumpy with herself there, because she's worked so hard and created a lot of opportunities, and probably saw her name flash up on the scoreboard as a bit of a reward there.
Still might get an opportunity. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes to go. I started my watch a little bit later in the second half.
Still time enough.
Cameron dips it infield. O'Donoghue, touch back for Ferris. Golding, Ferris. They've been really impressive in the way they built it up here, the Greens.
Yeah.
This is another good build-up. Bredis, great play this is. And O'Donoghue was only stopped from getting through on goal by Christina Kicic. Bredis has mistimed that. Sorry, Ash.
Great bit of build-up play. They're creating perfect angles for each other off the ball to make it flow up the field.
Good 1-2 touch stuff. Bredis. It's going to be too heavy for O'Grady. But that would have been beautiful if not for the interception by Christina Kicic.
Well timed. Yeah, well timed interception to break that play up.
Those pesky defenders doing their job.
Always getting in the way.
Golds could bring it forward. Hunt.
Not got many options forward there.
Prakash is one. She's been mostly an option the whole game.
She has. She's worked really hard to provide those angles for her teammates. Got on the ball a lot.
It's been almost a perfect afternoon apart from the thunderstorm delay, and what would probably wrap it up from Leah Blaney's point of view is a goal for Golds.
That would leave them winning the second half essentially, which is a great sort of outcome for them.
O'Donoghue, Bredis goes long, asking a lot of Wazinski, who will chase it. Zapman's quick across the ground, deceptively quick, Nadia Zapman.
Another one of those athletic fullbacks that we were talking about earlier, wearing the number 9.
There you go, fullback wearing a 9.
Have a word with her afterwards.
Roden, O'Donoghue, Roden. She's been neat and tidy in midfield as well. Wazinski's had plenty of touches since she's come on. Prakash. Zach. Breeders looking to close it down. Kanapides intercepts. Almost touch from O'Donoghue, but the return ball was behind Sarah O'Donoghue. Talk about players that have been through a mountain of work. Well, she's one of them. Done plenty.
Starting to see a few hands on knees, hands on hips out there, Russ.
Not surprisingly close towards the end of the game. Beckmacken gives Gold a free kick. They're still keen. Look how keen they are to get the ball forward.
Communication is great in terms of setting up defence there too. You can hear the shouts to get organised. Gold want to get on with it. So
Kicic. Hunt's ball was charged out. Will be a goal ball.
looks like a handball.
Yeah, I think it was handball.
Yeah, okay.
The charge down, if you like. Free kick for Gold. This might be one of their last chances to get something on the scoreboard. They put plenty in this attack. Green have everybody back behind the ball. In the last minute of an inter-country friendly. Goes to show you what it means to them all. It's Metz at the far post, and Beck Mackey brings it to a close, and Ash Sykes, well, that was a very entertaining 90 minutes plus all the time we had in between.
All the time. Long afternoon here, but it's great to see a full game of football in the end between, you know, like we've been talking about, really talented squad.
Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for sticking around and having a chat earlier on as well. It's great to fill in some time between us, and we'd love to have you back at some stage as well.
Yeah, thanks Russ. Love to be involved. Always good to chat while you're watching a bit of football.
Absolutely. Thanks very much to Ash Sykes. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it at home. All the goals came in the first half. Sasha Grove with 3 of them for the Young Matildas green. Ava Breedis with the other. And at full time here, Leah Blaney's side has beaten Leah Blaney's side. It's finished the Young Matildas gold 0, the Young Matildas green 4.